What is the stupidest animal in the jungle? The polar bear. So, hello, welcome to SparkleDart. Today I'm wearing a very nice tie-dyed shirt that I made back in high school because we had some fair that we were doing. Everybody was supposed to invite their parents. I didn't invite my mom and dad because it was just gonna be a fun time for us at the fair, and we were just gonna do our own thing. Me and my friends Sal and Earl. They have very similar names, and I used to tease them because of that. I'd call them Sal Earl and Earl Sal. It was a lot funnier back then, trust me. It's not so funny now that now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds really stupid, to be quite fair. But trust me, brother, trust me, it was a lot funnier back then. Anyway, I made this tie-dye shirt, and then it was for homecoming, and I thought it was kind of stupid, but we got like a grade for doing it, and I'm like, I might as well just go ahead and do that, because even though it is a stupid activity, I mean, why would anyone bother tie-dyeing a perfectly good white shirt? I love my white shirts. I wear white shirts every day except for the days when I'm doing laundry, and on the days when I'm doing laundry I can wear shit like this tie-dye affair. And anyways, I got mistaken for being a hippie one time, and I was really upset about that. They said, "Hello, sir. Would you care to come and join our cause?" And their cause was they were trying to raise donations for the tree museum downtown that we got. We got a nice museum downtown for trees. If you've ever seen a tree before, they're very nice things. They're very good to look at, very pleasant for the atmosphere. They make oxygen. They make they don't make hydrogen, but they take hydrogen, which is nice. I like hydrogen. Anyways, that was a really stupid thing that I just said. They mistake me for being like a tree hugger or something, and I'm like, I think you got me mistaken for somebody who gives a shit about the Earth. I don't give a shit about the Earth. I think the Earth is pretty much fucked at this point, so why don't we just focus on another planet, like Mars, or Venus, or Jupiter. Jupiter would be a lot harder to fuck because it's just so big, but some men like it that way. Some men like their planets on the big side. And some men say, no, I prefer my planet small and petite. I like them, very bite-sized, if you catch my drift. But not Jupiter. Jupiter's got way too much junk in the trunk, and it's got like 15 moons, and that's just too much for me. I prefer my woman to have, my planet. See, I was making like a joke, but then the joke became real. It's like a jokeception. Not really. That doesn't make any sense either. So fuck you. Anyways, I've been having to deal with failure a lot my whole life, and just being mistaken for being a liberal hippie tree hugger. It's not the worst thing in the world. That's certainly for sure. But it does make me feel like maybe I don't present myself in an appropriate way. Maybe I should pay more mind to the things that I put on my body, the things that I wear, the way that I look to other people, and just be a nicer person for what I do. But the real problem is that I've been saying for about 10 years this very same thing. I've been saying, tomorrow is going to be the day that I make a change. Next Sunday is going to be the day that I make a change, because I don't have to go to church that day because church is being held downtown, and I don't currently have a car, so I wouldn't be able to go anyways. I'd have to take the bus, and taking the bus down that way would take me like 5 hours to get there, and I don't want to have to wait that long to go to church and then come back, and then everybody's going to be going out to Perkins afterwards for pancake dinners or whatever, because they're not holding them at the church anymore, because I guess we just couldn't handle the budget situation. The pastor, he wanted a raise, and to do that he just started taking more money out of the donation box, even though that's a huge sin, I'm sure, in the Christian community. They probably don't look too kindly upon people taking money out of a donation box. Not that I would know much about that, but that's just an assumption that I would make, is that if you're going to start stealing money, he called it a raise. I think it's more stealing, but that's neither here nor there. It's his church. He's allowed to run it the way he wants to. I don't really go to church that often because I believe in some things, but I don't believe in everything. And I think you have to be able to pick and choose what you think makes sense. And sometimes some things just don't make sense to you. People say, well, the story of the original sin, that was a good story, and it made a lot of sense to me back at the time when I first heard it. But, alright. But, now I'm kind of wondering, because they say that the Garden of Eden was a real place, and they say that Adam and Eve were real people, and I'm like, well, then you think about it, Cain and Abel, the children, would have had to have babies with each other or something like that. Because if that was the case, if human beings originated just from nothing, which is I guess how the story goes, there would have been nobody for them to mate with, aside from people who they either themselves created, their children, or from God himself. And I don't think God, it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that God made any other like children for Adam and Eve's children, Cain and Abel, to procreate with. But maybe that was just a detail that they felt didn't necessarily need to be included. They thought that that detail could be omitted, like, yes, God did create more people. And they say everybody's made in God's image, but I don't think that's true, because I look more like my mom and my dad than I do look like Jesus. And Jesus is like 50% God, right? So I guess that would make sense. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, SparkleDart, the Immaculate Conception wasn't like literally an Immaculate Conception. Oh, here's a fun thing that I was hearing about not too long ago, is that some people are trying to claim that Jesus was transgendered because, transgendered? Oh yeah, because Jesus is a male. But in the like animal community, any animal that reproduces without the aid of like a male counterpart will always be female. But I guess the idea is that since Jesus identifies as a male and would have been female biologically speaking, that he must be transgendered. And I think that that's a huge slap in the face to the Christian community, because the Christian community don't believe in things like that. They believe that things happen exactly the way that they were told in church and they were told from their parents. Because the cool thing about the Bible, actually, is that when you're teaching it to your children, you can really just kind of tell them whatever you want to, because that's what it's always been about, is leaving it up for interpretation, leaving the Bible up for parents to tell their children kind of whatever they want to, whichever stories they think makes the most sense, whichever stories they can use to like bend their child's knowledge to their own whim, because you want your kids to believe what you believe, and they will believe what you believe, because your children will assume that you're always right since they're your parent. They learn from you. For the first couple of years of their life, they spend learning from you because they're not in school, and then they go to school and they would think to themselves, well, my daddy would never send me to a school that would teach me these things that are wrong. I believe maybe that's not necessarily true, because when you're a child, you don't do a lot of critical thinking. You don't do a lot of like introspective thinking. Maybe my daddy doesn't know best. Maybe mother doesn't know as well as I assume that she did, because she was often wrong and she was often drunk too. So those two things hand in hand don't really work that well, I guess. It's hard to it's hard to make a compelling case for certain things in the Bible. Not that I don't want to get into a whole thing, is the Bible real, is the Bible fake? Obviously it's real because it's a physical book that you can hold. That's not what I'm talking about, you wise guy, you fucking wise guy. Yes, I'm going to assault you on my show, because if you're going to be a wise guy and pull that up on me, be like, of course the Bible's a physical thing that exists. I'm like, yeah, I fucking know. I don't need this right now. I've got a migraine. It's almost 9 o'clock at night. I just want to go to bed, but I've got to do something before I go to bed, because I put it off. I wanted to go to the mall today, and then I did go to the mall today, and I went to Yankee Candle, and I went to Bilderberg Workshop and Built-A-Berg, and it was a pretty good bear. They have turtles there now. They got like fuzzy turtles, which is weird to me. Is that why, if you're going to make a stuffed animal, why do you make a stuffed animal of an animal that doesn't like have fur or hair or nothing like that? It just seems kind of weird to me. And you might be thinking to yourself, of course, the simple answer is, well, it's a child's toy. You probably shouldn't be too concerned about it. I'm like, children learn information from the most privy of places. They have a stuffed fuzzy turtle, and they think that at that point, since I've never seen a real turtle, they start thinking, well, turtles must be like fuzzy like this. This must be pretty accurate to what real life is like. And I'm like, no, that's not exactly true. But if you're going to teach a child that that is the case, then I guess that's all we can really hope for, is that they learn the right thing eventually and they don't spread misinformation. See, that's the biggest thing. You've ever played this game, Telephone, it's all about spreading misinformation. And that's not a person's name. Miss Catherine Information. No, that's not. If you're gonna like try to make a joke like that, that joke has been made before. Like if you have a character in an anime whose name is Miss Anthropy, like her name is Anita and her last name is Thropy, so it's like Miss Anthropy, and she's not married either, so it's like funny to you or something like that. That's the kind of character that like a girl who shops at Hot Topic and also has a DeviantArt page would make, if you know what I mean. Not to like say that that's exclusive to females, but I mean I've seen some pretty head up the ass. I was about to use the R word, but then I realized I'm a better man. No, screw it. I'm gonna use it anyways. Head up the ass retarded. There, I said it out loud. Can you believe that? Anyways, you go on DeviantArt. Oh, here's a fun game for you to play. Go on DeviantArt and type in your name, the Hedgehog. So if your name is like Steve or something, go on DeviantArt and type in Steve the Hedgehog, and then prepare to cringe at the results. Or another fun game that is also very similar is go basically do the same thing, but then type in your favorite franchise. Like say your favorite franchise is I don't know, Dragon Ball Z. Go on DeviantArt and type in Dragon Ball Z Sonic the Hedgehog, and then you'll find like pictures of like Sonic the Hedgehog as Goku and Shadow as Vegeta, and then gosh golly, Tails as who's the dumb character? Krillin. That would be a pretty good. I think that's probably what it would be. You know, I'm guessing that this actually exists. I'm guessing this is a real thing. There's a very stupid picture of Squidward from the SpongeBob's as Shadow the Hedgehog, and that's funny to me. It's funny when people make this stuff and they don't realize how bad it is, and they're very proud of it. They're very proud of what they've created, but you just can't help but laugh at it and how terrible it is. And then you feel kind of bad about that, but then you realize, well, they should realize that it is terrible, and they shouldn't be putting this stuff on the internet where anybody can look at it and laugh at them and then point their fingers and say, that's the person that we should bully. That person is not a victim. That person deserves to be bullied. And I'm like, you know, you're only partially right there. You're only partially right. I don't want to open up this can of worms saying, is bullying ethical? Is it moral? Because, you know, it can be. It can be. Sometimes kids have to realize that what they're doing is stupid. Because if you just pat a kid on the back all the time and like keep validating him and telling him that nothing that he does is possibly wrong, then he's going to grow up thinking that, and he's going to get super mad and offended whenever anybody challenges his worldview. Like, say, for example, he thinks that, I don't know, he thinks it's okay to, or he thinks it's wrong, war is wrong or whatever, and he grows up thinking that that's too broad of a topic, but I'm going to keep talking about it. Hopefully you can understand what I'm talking about when I keep blabbering on about nothing for the next fucking 5 minutes. He grows up thinking war is wrong, and of course war is never really a good solution to a problem, but you know, sometimes it gets things resolved. Like in World War II, they got rid of all the concentration camps where all the Nazis were shooting Jews and stuff, or whatever it was that they were doing. I don't know. I'm gonna hold on to that one, buddy. Give me that thing back. I want that thing. Yes. You know, just shooting Jews and whatever. And then we had to go to war to get them to stop, and they're like, all right, buddy, listen, I'll stop. Just stop harassing. Like, we would hold their like tanks down and say, stop shelling yourself, stop shelling yourself, stop firebombing yourself, stop firebombing yourself. It's like in the Battle of Dresden. You've heard of the book Slaughterhouse-Five, I believe. It was all about the Battle of Dresden, the firebombing of Dresden, which is never talked about. It was never really talked about in history class, not so much like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, even though it was just as deadly, maybe even deadlier, or maybe not, I don't know. But I mean, a lot of people died regardless. But if you don't like Asian people, then I guess those things are fine. But no, the firebombing of Dresden, I think it was like a small German town, Polish town. I don't know. I don't know my World War II history very well. So if you're gonna like call me out on World War II knowledge and history and trivia and stuff like that, then please understand that you're probably going to be correct. Even you could even just go on Wikipedia and look up what I'm looking for, and then like figure out that what I'm talking about is wrong, because it probably is. And I don't want to be the guy who gets offended when he's wrong but then gets called out for it. Like what I was talking about just a second ago is when your worldview gets challenged and then you don't know how to deal with the fact that somebody's calling you out, because that's never happened before, because you receive constant validation, pats on the back, people telling you that you're not wrong because you're too cute to be wrong or something like that. That's a problem I think that women face too, is that like if you go on like a transvestite support group on, not transvestite, transgendered support group on like Facebook or something like that, and maybe, for example, someone was to be like, I want to know what, do I want that? I want to know how to apply this type of lipstick and makeup. And then they're like, no, lady, listen, you're beautiful just the way you are. And they're like, that's fine if you believe that. I'm not going to tell you that you're right, not going to tell you that you're wrong. But I just want to know how to apply like mascara or something. I've never done it before. And then everybody would get mad and start calling them out, saying like, no, she doesn't need to learn how to put on mascara. She's beautiful just the way she is, but she wants to. Fuck you, pal. I don't know. Is that a weird example? Is that a weird example of what I'm talking about? Just challenge your worldviews. Be like, you know what? Maybe I am wrong, and that's fine. I'm okay with being wrong. Honestly, I'm certain that I'm wrong like 90% of the time, because I do talk a lot, and I talk so much about like I have nothing to say, but I just keep going, and at that point, it's like something's gonna come out. Who knows what it's gonna be? That's the biggest fun. That's the most fun mystery of SparkleDart, I think, is that I never know what I'm gonna say before I start talking, but I always know it's gonna be fucking stupid. I remember one time in an earlier episode I said something about how Jews don't use computers because they don't have to, and then I was thinking to myself later, what the hell does that mean? They don't have to use computers? Of course they have to use computers. Everybody has to use computers in these modern days. Oh, you dickhead. You dipshit. Get out of here. But I don't know. That's always been the most fun to me, is just what stupid ass material I come up with. And then there was this other time I remember I was talking about how Japanese people should spend all of their money, instead of on like anime dolls and figurines, they should spend the money on getting their slanted eyes fixed. And I realized how racist that sounded after I said it, but it was still really funny to me. I just couldn't help but to have a giggle, have a faff and a laugh. You know how it goes. You understand. You all like jokes. Jokes are fine. Jokes are for everybody. Jokes are for me. Jokes are for you. Jokes are for Steve. Jokes are for... Oh. I was going to go right to Jews. I always go right to Jews. I don't know why. It's not like I don't like Jews or nothing. I just think it's the funny. Like I've talked about the Seinfelds. That's all Jews shit. You know all about the Seinfelds. That's a good show. You watch that. You can watch that. They're all Jewish, and it's really funny because it's like not making fun of them, but it's also like not super flattering in its delivery on how they are portrayed in popular media. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, who the fuck cares? And I'm going to tell you right now, nobody cares. I was just making a point. I was calling reference to an example of something that I had noticed in my life, and now you're going to try and call me out on that. I don't appreciate your behavior. But if you would tone it down just a bit, I think we can get over this impasse and not have to bring it up again, and then we can just have a good time and like maybe go watch the Yankees at Kinnick Stadium next week or something like that. I don't know. If you want to do that, that's up to you, I guess, if you're going to be so rude to me, but honestly, it's just about being chill. That's what I like to do, is just to be a chill person. I pretend to be Italian, but I don't do the accent. If you want me to do the accent, press 2 now. Dial 3 now, or dial 4617 to SparkleDart should do the accent at gmail.com. I don't know how you text a text to a number, email address. But you'll figure it out. You're all smart people. You know how computers work. I don't know how computers work so much because I'm not a smart boy like you. Or you. I'm pointing to everybody who comments on these videos. There's like 3 of you who do it, and I appreciate every single comment. So if you could keep on doing that, I guess would continue to appreciate it. You don't have to if you don't want to, though. I'm okay with that. I've made peace with the fact that nothing gold can stay. You make new friends and keep the old. One is silver and the other gold. Just... I don't know. Life's funny. It makes you go ha ha ha. Like in that show Friends, they go, and no one told you life was gonna be this way. Ha 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 ha. Except I don't think that's actually what the lyrics were. Maybe not. I don't know. Go watch Friends. It's probably funnier than this show. Just die already, you fuck. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, get over here. Buddy. You and I, we got some beef. Some beef stew. You like me, Andy Milonakis? He had a song about how the Super Bowl was gay. I like that song. All right. Andy Milonakis is He's actually like 30 or something. He's got some sort of Arthur's Crohn disease or something that makes him a tiny man. Not like Vern Troyer tiny, who is like actually like a midget or a dwarf. I don't know which one's taller than the other, and I don't know the exact height cutoff for being considered a midget or a dwarf. If it has to do with height, if it has to do with like an actual biological affliction. Like, because there are humans out there that are like regular humans, not like midget humans. There are like normal, well-adjusted adult humans that are out there that aren't midgets, but they are like shorter than certain midgets. Yes, certain midgets. And I think that's kind of fascinating, don't you? That it's interesting the way that people develop. It's like those two girls, the Spartley or the Hartley hooligans, that are like both deformed and they don't have brains or something like that, but miraculously they're both like 10 years old or something. They're much older than something that doesn't have a brain should ever be able to live to be. I guess I'll talk more about the Hartley hooligans next time if you're interested. But I think we're going to end this episode real soon here. So thank you for watching SparkleDart. It's been fun. Goodbye. Mwah.